Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight we gonna light it up. Tonight we gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight we gonna light it up. Tonight we gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna light it up.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Rapture Day, I suppose. Oh, goodness. My holy voice is out of control today. Let's turn that down a little bit. Greetings, folks. It's so wonderful to see. Oh, I'm sorry. I seem to. Oh, that's right. It is Rapture Day, as you know, the only minister on the planet who actually followed the teachings of Jesus. Apparently, I'm the only one who got to go. But hey, we've got 8 billion viewers up here in heaven. Or so. Let me try and manifest a body here for a moment so I can interact with all you fine folks. Let's see. Okay, I think oof, that's about as good as I can manage. It's probably going to take practice to really fully manifest a physical form again, but we're doing what we can. It's a work in progress kind of thing. But thank you all so much for joining. And what the fuck am I wearing? I must have subconsciously manifested my farm days from my childhood or something. Oh no. Well, we're stuck with it for today. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going over is it the biblical submission for women something. Oh my goodness. There's these couple of women. They do a show called Girls Gone Bible, and they're talking about biblical submission. What could possibly go wrong? But we are not alone on this journey into the Christians who Christianed wrong and didn't get raptured. I am joined by the wonderful Lil of all trades. How are you this morning? Besides muted. We're constantly breaking poor Lil. So while Lil works out her sound, she does have a show coming up after this one. So we're going to have a selection.
No, I do not.
Today. Lil's doing
I don't think my connection's going to hold up that long.
Oh, I think I can hear you now. Maybe?
Oh, hi.
Sure.
No, I just canceled my live stream after this because I don't think my connection's going to hold up. My connection's kind of wonky today.
Oh, it is very rude. AJ points out there's a tiara on my face. It's actually not on my face. It's sitting on the chair because I'm not physically here, so my crown just kind of sits around when I'm not wearing it. Which is why I can pass.
See, you just need one that sits in the background.
Yeah.
Mine's usually sitting up here.
It's all good. But yeah, I'm going to try to stay over to the side here since I can't move things in physical space at the moment. Again, I'm going to practice after the show today and see if I can get some. Now, good news. First of all, what you've been told about heaven, completely bullshit. Both what the Bible said and what Cat Care says. It is in fact much more like the film What Dreams May Come, except Nil is real. It's literally just Nil and Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe because Lisa ate all the other gods and pooped out the universe, as all the world knows. So that's what's going on there. Also, there's coffee. Of course, there's coffee, and yeah, pretty much you just well, I don't know. I just got here, so I'll tell you more about it another time. But thank you all so much for joining us. We love to see you folks. Of course, AJ's in the chat, Randall Flagg, John Fabiano, Geo Sam. Yeah, it's my crown. I'd lift it up and show you, but I can't physically touch it. Just, you know, it's the ghosty problems. Say lovey. Ryan's loitering. Fern's here. Hello. Finally, an atheist live that doesn't use metal. Oh goodness. Now don't get me wrong. I love the hard, heavy intros, but this intro music, it's a bop, and also the lyrics kind of vibe with what I'm trying to do. So I very much
like it.
Even though I have to fight YouTube on every single episode. Even though I have a license, it pulls up a copyright flag, and then I have to send them the license, and then they go, "Oh yeah, you have a license," even though the license is in the damn description. It's fine. But hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Professor Izzle says they pulled me over from the Daily Atheist. It's true. There's a gravitational gradient going on.
Yes, we did.
Something like that. Kip says, but metal is life. And you know, that's true too. Music is the one remaining form of true magic, in my humble opinion. But we do what we can. So it's lovely to see new people. If you are new, please take a second to subscribe. We do this every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And it'll be great to have you join us. Yes, sir.
I would argue with John over the cutest dog name. I think I have the cutest dog name. So I have Dr. Kip.
Named Dr. Kip. I think Ryan would make a cute dog name though. I've never met a dog named Ryan, but I think Ryan. Oh, you mean Pickles. Well, yeah. I mean, as you know, I still say I've got the cutest dog name. We just can't get enough pickles. Oh goodness. Speaking of pickles, oh yes, our friend here.
Oh no.
So there's two ladies that we're going to be seeing today. Maybe we'll learn their names. I don't know. We'll find out. It'll be fun. But let me manifest the controls for this window, and we'll see what they've got to say.
So,
well, it's very thoughtful commentary thus far. And
yeah, it's just chock full of commentary.
I mean, it's edited, right? We've seen the camera cut back and forth several times. They edited this and still left it in. Like,
how much did they edit out? That's what I want to know. Wow.
Equus says, I was thinking of naming my kitten Ember, but she's already responding to Ripley. Ripley's a good name too. And, you know, honestly, sometimes animals pick their own names. I had a dog named Cody, who he picked his own name, basically. I kept trying to name him things, but he was like, nope, I'm only responding to Cody. Okay.
That's the way my oldest dog was. She was already named Pixie from the shelter, and she would not respond to anything else. And I originally hated the name, but it kind of grew on me because it fits her now. Kip is starting to get to the point that she doesn't respond to anything but Kippers, because I am the weird person that tends to give nicknames to all my pets. So I have Pixers and Days and Kippers, and so now when I say Kip, she'll just kind of look at me and then walk off. So I have to call her Kippers if I want her to do anything.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too. I had another dog, a stray we took in, named his official name was Butch. I forget how the hell he got it, but he would only answer to shithead. I can't imagine why that might be.
Oh, good Lord.
Purity. We're talking about
Purity
today.
We've been waiting for this one, huh?
Yeah, we've been waiting and they've been waiting. Hey guys.
They've been waiting. That's what purity is. They've been waiting.
Yeah.
I'm Angela.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, honestly, okay. So here's the thing. They're going to come up with a whole bunch of reasons and excuses or whatever. But the thing is, if you are a Christian, you're allowed to sin. In fact, you're encouraged to sin, even if you somehow think that, you know, the act of love with another person is somehow sinful, whatever. You just ask Jesus to forgive you after the fact. That's the entire point. So, you know, Lauren says, excuse me, Ember, in the poll, where is the when she wants to option? They only let me do 4 choices, so I had to generalize. But I mean, consider this. If it is a choice, so I do have a poll running, I should say, for anybody watching after the fact. And the question of the day is, when should a woman submit? And the options are when the Bible says, when a pastor says, when a man says, or she should dominate always. And the reason I went with those choices is because if a woman chooses to submit or just not be dominant, then she's still dominating because it's her choice. Only she gets to decide, you see. So that's because we're limited to 4 choices. So, you know.
Hey guys, I'm Ari.
And this is Girls Gone Bible. We're a faith-based podcast where we talk about Jesus and God and the Bible and life and mental health. And we don't usually talk about sex, but today is a different type of day. So we just want to start out with saying, not that this is going to be a graphic episode in any way, but this is a topic around sexual immorality as the Bible would describe it, and purity and abstaining. And
I just it hurts my head, like saying sexual morality and purity and abstaining. Like, none of these should be in the same conversation as each other. But as Randall Flagg points out, if we don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. You know, we owe it to Jesus to be as sinful as possible or something. Give him his money's worth, damn it.
And so
I just have to announce I am officially Kip's new favorite, which is something to be proud of.
Because you spelled Dagon's name correctly? Okay. And for the record, that would be thusly. Now, I may be mispronouncing it because I've only ever seen it written, weirdly enough. because apparently Kip doesn't love his dog.
Speaking of dogs, give me 1 second.
I'm
I'll let mine in.
Listen with your kids, or you are in high school or middle school. I don't know, ask your parents, but I just want to give that before starting. This is somewhat of a difficult topic for us to talk about. It's really personal, and fortunately,
it's a difficult topic because they're adults. I mean, yeah, okay, in fairness, if I were going to get on camera and tell all my followers that as an adult, I believe we should all follow the moral dictates of a fairy tale, I would be a little embarrassed too. So, okay.
Fortunately, we found a video that kind of sums up everything that we've been experiencing and, everything that we've gone through up until now and where we're at now. And so it
isn't the point of abstaining that you haven't gone through thing. Never mind.
Better explains where we're at than we could. So play the clip.
God has brought me a mighty long way. You looking at a miracle.
I mean, technically, we're all miracles from a certain point of view. Like, if you consider the fact, first of all, you need a universe, right? So that's magic, apparently. But also, to have the bodies you have, we have to go through 3 generations of stars. It's not just having our big, awesome, unusually stable sun at the center of our solar system, heating our planet and keeping everything relatively in place. But you have to have 2 full generations of stars before that blow the fuck up, scattering the elements that we need, because you don't get carbon and oxygen and iron and all these lovely things that we're made from the Big Bang. That only gets you hydrogen and a little bit of helium. To get everything else, you got to cook it in a star. And some of the rarer stuff you can't even cook in a star. You have to cook it in a freaking supernova. So you need multiple acts of magic. And then once you finally get an Earth with all the carbon and iron and all the assorted stuff that we need for us to exist, then early Earth looked kind of like Venus does today. Thinner atmosphere, but same general composition. You need to transform that atmosphere, that orange yellowish sky, into the lovely blue that we see now so that we can breathe. And that took biological action. That took anaerobic bacteria something like 1 billion years to terraform the planet. Yes, our planet is terraformed. And then on top of that, multicellular life has to evolve. Mammals have to evolve. Did you know that the fact we have placentas instead of eggshells is due to an endogenous retrovirus that happened to land in just the right place? It's a fucking miracle. And then on top of all that, all your ancestors, not just your parents, had to meet at just the right time and go through just the right life events for you to exist. But their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents, the random acts of the lives of billions of humans, thousands of generations, had to happen in just the right way for you to exist. That's pretty that's several miracles stacked on top of each other. But does it require a divine being to justify? Because, as I often say, if you take a whole set of dice, and maybe the odds of any specific outcome are 1 in cajillions of cajillions, it's the ultimate Yahtzee. But if you roll the dice, you're going to get a result. Maybe you aren't predestined, predetermined. The universe isn't created specifically so you could be here today, but something would be somewhere, because when you roll the dice, you get a result. So I guess thank the dice gods, Zeus playing dice with the universe.
And yeah, I mean, even then, like, people tend not to realize how many generations of stars there were, and that a star had to be in just the right place at just the right time to seed our big molecular cloud with all the elements we needed and all that. It's just, and by the way, if you want to know more about supernovas, go over to my channel.
Yeah, Lil did a video talking a little bit about stellar nucleosynthesis yesterday.
Yeah, I tried to keep it Yeah, I tried to keep it relatively simple. I could have gotten way into the weeds, and then I realized if I did that, it'd be like a 2-hour long video, which I was not up for doing. But yeah, I absolutely love astrophysics. So
Yeah,
that
stars
was
are
fun.
deep. You can get as far into them as your shields will hold for.
Oh yeah.
That's multiple levels of nerd. Don't mind me. Kip says, Dagon, the abomination of the Philistines, properly spelled Dagon after the Canaanite pronunciation, not the Hebrew, Dagon. And I'm still probably mispronouncing it, but I do appreciate the effort to inform.
I would love, because he's got some videos of Dagon on his channel. I would love to see Dagon and Dr. Kip get together and have them have a race to see who's faster and who can go through the most sticks.
Who can knock down the most fences?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I just have to give treats, and here she comes.
You know.
I say treats, and she pokes her head in like, what?
I heard the magic word.
I can't say the T word. I can't say
Yeah.
the T word around them.
You know what's frustrating? I keep wanting to adjust the microphone, but I can't touch it. My hand just goes right through the fucking thing. What can you do? I suppose I could just like get a little closer, but whatever. We work with what we've got. It's fine.
Had no sense.
You're not doing what God created you to do, and that's a blessing. Super, I guess. To be fair, it should be her choice. But the thing of it is, she thinks God created her to make the maximum amount of babies, and she's not doing that, and says it's a holy thing. It's weird.
I literally got told by a woman that went to a family member's church that I was and keep in mind, I was not Christian at the time, but I wasn't like super out about it. My parents knew, but that was about it. But they told me that I was not a good Christian woman because I had divorced my husband, but I had also only had 2 kids. Like, I was like 25 at the time. How many kids do you want me to have by that point?
When I was your age, I was on my 9th pregnancy.
Holy crap. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not having any more. And she's like, well, you really should. And I'm like, no, the first 2 nearly killed me. I'm not going to sacrifice myself for a third. Ain't gonna happen. So
I very much relate to that one.
I don't. I hate how some Christians are just. They are so obsessed with what you do in the bedroom. Like, to a point that it goes beyond creepy. Like, way beyond creepy,
Oh, yeah,
actually.
it's definitely pervy stuff. I mean, people wonder why there's so many essays and CSAs in the churches. It's because the religious leaders constantly have sex on their mind. Like, it just never stops.
And it's like, yeah, and it's like it bugs me how they constantly have on their mind. It is not something I think about 24/7. It's just not.
Now here's
like,
a
it
question
might cross my
for you.
mind every now and then, but
do you suppose the emphasis on purity culture, abstaining, all the shaming and all that stuff is to get people so that they're so worked up from having to hold it in all the time that when the priest says, hey, I can give you a sinless release, they just jump on it, for lack of a better term?
that would make some sense. Yeah. It would.
Suspicious.
I can almost guarantee you, and actually I can pretty much tell you, there have been, I'm trying to think of his name and I don't remember it. He was from I want to say around the 1200s, but he was a Catholic priest that essentially did that and ended up sleeping with like the entire town. So it has happened before. I don't know what the percentage is. I think a lot of it is just they want to be in control of something and someone, and the only people they can control is their wives because they were ridiculous enough to marry them in the first place.
Well, that's the fucked up thing, and that's the thing with patriarchy, and we're tangenting, but it's okay because people come here for the tangents, so it's fine. The whole thing is if their wives don't submit, then they beat the hell out of them. And in a sane society, the other people in the town or village or whatever would beat the hell out of the men who beat the hell out of their women. Unless they all agree that that's a right and proper thing a man should be allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have patriarchy. And nobody will stop it. And so the women have no choice but either submit or get beaten regularly, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's weird when you see it, especially modern day, on how prevalent it still is, because you would think, at least modern day, a lot of women wouldn't put up with that, but a lot of women do. Still, and they're just like, like, and going on like it's normal, and like, no, it's not. Like, don't mistreat your wives, people. Jeez. I mean, it's not hard, but
it seems silly to me.
It's a patriarchy
who's with you out of fear instead of because they want to. Somebody who only submits when they have to instead of because they want to. Clearly, these people have a huge inferiority complex and understand, like Ben Shapiro, they'll never be able to satisfy their lovers. So forcing compliance is the only way they're ever going to get any, rather than, getting good at it.
And also, I mean, speaking from personal experience from the church that I grew up in, they also did such a good job of making women feel so inadequate that by the time someone does finally say, hey, you want to marry me? It's like you kind of get into this mindset of, if I don't marry this guy, nobody's ever going to ask me. Like, that's the kind of church I grew up in. And and it leads you to bad decisions. I've had some friends from there who have been married for 20 years now. Most got divorced within 5. I lasted 7.5. So
it's counterproductive to force people together. That's one of the reasons that arranged marriages have largely gone out of fashion. Because while even in the old days when there were social pressures and whatnot and divorce wasn't prohibited, and in those rare cases when one spouse didn't off the other to get away from them because it was the only option available, you'd still have people both cheating on each other because they didn't want to be with each other. Like, I don't know. It's very stupid.
And I mean, even then, among, like, especially the nobility classes of Europe, when they had the arranged marriages, it was very much for political and monetary gain. Like, it's a well-known fact that many of the kings of France and others basically had official mistresses. And it's just one of those things that it was fine for the guys to sleep around, but the women couldn't, because if she got pregnant, there was no telling who the father was.
Yeah, she's property.
It's just it's all one-sided. Yeah, it's all one-sided.
And so sometimes those official mistresses were badasses, like Madame du Pompadour, for example, whom I was so thrilled when they did the Doctor Who episode on, because I already knew her from history, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this! It's so great, yay!"
Yeah.
Now let's look at more of the.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
More of the opposite of that. Is she okay? Is she having a fit? Is she overwhelmed?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Laid?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the problem.
I'm having an orgasm from the Holy Spirit moving through me right now. I thought about opening the show by saying, behold, I've been raptured. yada yada. Shit, my window disappeared. I need there. Okay, there it is. I'd be like, behold, I've been raptured. It's true. Jesus came for me last night. And then he came for me. Mwahaha. But I was like, no, Ember, you can't open a show like that. You have to wait at least, what are we at? 30 minutes into the show to go there.
Well, to be fair, since I'm on, if you got raptured, I'd have to take over, which I would gladly do.
I mean, I don't know what else to do here. I'm just be glad that the fact I can push the buttons from the afterlife makes them work here. It's that electronic phenomenon thing that I'm sure Tesla investigated or something. She in a hurry to get some, yo.
On her way to Vegas.
That's it. That's the just. I've never been late, and then runs for the bathroom. My goodness, such a.
The funny thing about this, I actually know somebody that I grew up with, that her and her husband, after the ceremony, disappeared for an hour. And then they came back wearing different clothes. We all know what they were doing, but I'm like, my God, you guys couldn't wait like 3 hours? Seriously? Like, we couldn't get through the reception?
Yeah, you ever done a thing where you come back wearing each other's clothes just to make it absolutely clear what happened?
Not on purpose. I have.
When everyone wears a black t-shirt, who's to say?
Well, me and my ex-girlfriend, we were both wearing black tank tops, but they said something different on them, and it was in the dark, and we were about the same size, and so we didn't know whose shirt was whose. And I thought mine was mine. I walk out, I realized no, it's hers, and it was just blatantly obvious to everybody what went on. I'm just like, yeah. So it does happen. And it's always fun when people are like, you two are together. I'm like, yeah, how did you not know that?
So funny.
But it was a big friend group.
When you see people who aren't
It was a big friend group that we hadn't hung out with in a while.
But it's so funny when you run across people who aren't like hostily bigoted, but like are subtly bigoted because of culture and shit. And like, so I went to a community theater board meeting a few years ago, and there were these two girls there holding hands because they were dating and they should be able to hold hands. And like, so many people at that meeting were like, are they really good friends? Like, it just zoom.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could say that.
Well, technically, yes.
Let's actually get into today's episode. So, what's up, Bar?
What's up?
I don't know, you guys. It's 7:30, almost 8 o'clock at night. We've never filmed this late in the day before.
Yeah, at this time we're usually.
Ooh, the devilish hour or something.
The way. Are they related?
I have no idea. I
Because
mean,
the way they're looking at each other across the table kind of worries me.
it kind of gives that vibe of that Bethany person and her sister who's less ditzy, Kristen. I don't know, but yeah, often you see sisters doing this kind of thing, and that may be adding to the discomfort because I don't like to talk about intimate business with my siblings. Yeah, it does make me uncomfortable. Yes.
Making necklaces out of gum. After, 6 p.m.,
Yeah.
her and I we're done. We're like in bed, like we act like we're 12 years old. Angela.
They're secretly 60 in bed by 5 p.m. My goodness.
Makes legit necklaces.
Did I tell you I got So my birthday was just a few days ago, back in August. Okay, slightly over a month ago now. No, almost a month ago. A month ago tomorrow. What is time? Anyway, the day after, my YouTube account, which knows when my birthday is, started giving me ads for AARP. If I sign up today, I could get 10% off. Like, you fucker.
No. No, like oh wow, no, I would not handle that well. I just turned 40 in December. I'm having trouble coming to the terms that I'm now in my 40s still. I was at my doctor's office a couple weeks ago, and I went to write my age, and I wrote down 39, and my son's like, "Mom, you're not 39." And I'm like, okay.
It's just a number, and it's an arbitrary number, because remember, we very easily could have wound up with a base 12 system. Half of our mathematics is still in base 12. So in a base 12 system, you're still in your 30s.
True. That's very true. I can roll with that.
Yeah.
Is with gum. She's like,
It's not okay. We lose it at nighttime. So this is definitely
I can't believe we're filming right now.
I know, and I can't believe what we're filming. Guys, this is...
I got to figure out how they make their lips so damn shiny. I'm sure it's just a simple lip gloss or something, but I've never been able to get one to work.
Yeah, it's like...
Maybe it's my life.
It's like this super, like, glassy gloss. Apparently it's sticky as hell, too.
Oh. No, I don't want sticky lips. I just want shiny lips. I don't know. I'm silly. Don't mind me.
It's our most asked about topic ever. Purity, sexual immorality, sex before marriage. I don't know where to start. And I just want to preface this by saying I used to...
So they didn't plan their hour-long episode at all. Super.
Oh.
So, okay, I'm a fan of improv. I do things on the fly. I tangent like crazy, but I have a freaking plan. I know what I want to do on the episode. I know what general direction I want to go. I keep it adaptable, but there's a plan, for fuck's sake. Why? How? Is it because they're pretty? Are they prettier than me? Remember, I am literally a holy ghost right now as you answer that.
Be such a private
No,
person.
if you were to take Kip, we were saying if you take the number, like whatever age you are, and turn that into base 12 instead of base 10.
Yeah, because
so 40 would be...
You wouldn't turn 10 until you were 12.
30.
So you wouldn't turn 20 until you were 24. 30, and so you wouldn't turn 30 until you're 36. And so you'd only be like 3 years and some change into being 33-ish, give or take. The conversion isn't...
I can totally roll with that.
Great. It's not super... It's really a 5 to 6 relationship. So take your age, divide it by 6, and multiply by 5, and that's your age in base 12.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah. Just don't go over 10, or you have to deal with the other part of base 12. It's wee.
I wouldn't even put captions on my photos because I felt like that was too much of a look into my brain. And now I'm going to come on and talk about my sex life or lack thereof too.
I know.
But
it's, you know what? We really want to.
If you have no sex life and you're talking about your sex life, this should be a short episode. Like, so we're here to talk about our sex life.
No kidding.
None. We're done. We out. Oh, for fuck's sake. Although I find myself strangely compelled because, as we were talking about yesterday on the poly episode, I currently have the same sex life they do, but not for the same reason. I'm not doing it because God said so. I just don't have a partner that I want to get with, you know? As Kip says, as everyone knows, I am famously good at math. It's true. and geology as well, especially volcanism.
I'm a little rusty, but I haven't done any of the like really hard mathematics in probably 7 or 8 years at this point, so I'm a little rusty.
So another tangent. What do people mean when they say hard mathematics? Because that just doesn't compute to me. What do you mean?
Like differential equations, the really complicated physics stuff.
Okay. So like is there a certain
Yeah.
threshold of complexity? Because I mean, to me, it's numbers is
I
numbers.
usually
Some operations require
I usually count calculus and anything beyond that as quote unquote hard mathematics. But that's just because like I can sit down and I can do algebra, I can do trig, I can do all that super easily without even really having to think about it. Anything beyond that, I can still do pretty easily, but it sometimes takes me a minute because I'm rusty.
Okay.
So
I don't know. It's just
that's where I
just
usually
a
am.
different perspective. It's part of my tism. It's one of the things that I just do not understand.
To wait and make sure the time was right to really do this episode. And I'm actually really excited because I think it's one of the most important topics when you're on your...
It's the most important topic, and we had to wait until the time is right. But we didn't plan it at all. Awesome.
Your journey with Jesus.
Absolutely. I mean, for Ari and I, this has been the most pivotal, transformative part of the whole our whole faith walk.
And you guys,
But if you've always abstained, in what way is it transformative? It's resisting any kind of transformation. It's resisting personal growth. What do you mean?
Yeah.
guys, every week, can you guys talk about sexual immorality?
Yeah, I heard that growing up, and that's something that I never understood about any of that. And the thing is like because I've said before, I grew up in private school. Our sex ed in that high school was literally a 30-minute talk given by one of the female teachers that basically the entire thing amounted to: if you have sex before married, you're going to get pregnant and you're going to die. And it's just like, they don't. And the thing is like, the thing that I hate about it, and why I think at least comprehensive sex ed should be mandatory in all schools, is at least have, and I had this policy with my boys. I said, look, if you're going to do something, because I know how teenagers are, sometimes they're going to run off into the corner and go have sex whether you want to or not. Tell me what's going on so I can at least make sure you're safe about it. So if my son's going to go ahead and do something, let me know. I will get you condoms. Please don't make me a grandmother. Obviously, my oldest son did not listen to me, but I got a great grandson out of it, so I'm not complaining. But the thing is that kids just aren't, either they aren't taught this stuff, or it kind of goes in one ear out the other, thinking it won't happen to me.
That one happens a lot too.
Videos like this. Yeah, and videos like this just perpetuate that, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm the special one. As long as I do what God said, then he'll protect me, except for all the people he didn't protect. But never mind them. I'm the main character, folks.
And the thing that, and like I said, I love my grandson to pieces. He is the best thing ever. But one thing that seems to be kind of a trend in my family is like, well, yes, he did do this bad thing that he shouldn't have done because he was too young and he wasn't married, but we got our grandson out of it, so it's okay. And I'm like, like, yeah, like, I would not trade my grandson for the world. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure my son might think later on, maybe I should have been a little bit older before I tried taking on this responsibility.
Right. It's a version of the argument from Consequence.
And that's not saying that,
to say, oh, it turned out okay, so it must be okay. No, you got lucky that it turned out okay. It had a very high chance of going very wrong.
I have 2 fantastic boys. I made, because of shit like this, I made the dumb mistake of getting married literally 5 days after my 18th birthday. I was married for 7.5 years, had 2 boys. I would not trade the world for them. And I've told my mom, I would not trade that marriage for the world because I got my boys out of it. But that doesn't negate the fact that I wish I was a little bit older and had more maturity when all that took place. I wish I was maybe a decade older. I would have been much more equipped to handle everything. I was not equipped to handle having 2 kids under 2 when I was 22.
Okay.
It just, no.
Here's an interesting juxtaposition, because we in the don't do the abstention, biblical purity, blah, blah, blah bullshit are the wait to get married, wait to start a family, don't rush into marriage, because if it's the right person, they'll be with you until it's time to get married. They won't be in a rush to, I mean, well, they may feel the urge to be in a rush, but they won't leave you over it not being the right time to get married, right? Whereas in the reverse situation, our biblical friends over here are like, don't have sex, but hurry up and get married as quickly as you can, no matter if it's the right person for you. Like, we're completely opposite on these two priorities. It's so wild to me.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, 1 second. My dogs locked themselves out again.
Pesky puppers.
Talk about sexy women, and we're just like,
Okay. Yes, we will. And you know, let's just get into it. Okay, okay, first we're going to be reading out of 1 Corinthians chapter 6.
we haven't
We're not going to read from the fucking, okay, fine. We'll do the thing.
really. How was your week? You know, the people want to know.
Well, we had Easter.
Yeah, how was your Easter, Ange?
It was amazing.
Since it wasn't with me.
I know. We actually didn't spend this Easter together, which is crazy. We spent it together last year. I was with my family in Florida. We had a great time. Yeah, I went to church every single day for a week.
You really did. I said,
really
what
did.
are you going to church for?
Can you imagine going to church every day for, like, okay, in fairness, when I was like a working minister, there were a couple of weeks where I wound up at a church every single day for a week. Like, you know, I'd be, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be weddings, and then there'd be baptisms on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then there'd be a funeral and whatever. It just, oh my goodness. But holy crap.
For today, you said they blessed the food. I said, who?
I know. The Catholic Church. So my family, obviously, they are super Catholic, and I love the Catholic Church, and I love going to mass, especially like on holidays and on Easter. And so, but I didn't know that they really go all out, and they were having something every day. I was there every day. It was.
Oh, how can you grow up Catholic in a family that is super into Catholicism and not know about Holy Week? Like, I know about Holy Week. Also, related note, actual holy water in the actual afterlife does not taste like feet. If your holy water tastes like feet, it's not genuine holy water. Just throwing that out there randomly. I've tasted holy water in a lot of churches. There's a lot of foot water out there. See, I kept trying to see if it like turned to flame when I stuck my finger in it to see if it was real holy water, and alas.
A lot of fun. How's Boston?
I've walked into a few churches the last couple of years and haven't burst into flames yet. Although my funniest story with that was I walked into the church that we were having my dad's funeral at, and I hadn't met the minister or anything from there and introduced myself and told him who I was. You should have seen the look on his face when I told him what my name was. And he like looked at me, looked at my mom, looked back at me and was like, "Hi, can I call you Lily?" And I'm like,
he's afraid of his freaking name. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is absolutely golden to get rid of Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons that come to my door too. I literally tell them my name and they will usually walk away. I think they think I'm kidding about my name, that's not actually my name, but no, it's actually my name.
I know, I'm a silly biscuit using my real name online too, which is not advisable necessarily. But what is advisable is the good word from the holy unfinished sock, who sends $5. Thank you so much. And says, don't be a dominant woman. Or do. Whatever. Either way, like and share the stream. Hell yeah. And that's good advice for all of us, because the share button is the most underutilized button in all the YouTubes. Make sure to send these videos to people who might enjoy them, or to people who might hate them but could use a dose of reality. I said from the fucking spirit world. It's a joke, folks. It's for any Christians who come in and are confused and are like, holy shit, Ember actually was raptured. It's a joke. I'm playing with my camera. See, I have this dimmer switch. I can apparate or disapparate depending. Yeah, it's not to spoil the illusion for those of you who are enjoying it. I just worry about sometimes people take things a little too seriously on the internet. Like our guest.
Yeah, I need to figure out OBS this weekend.
Oh shit.
Honestly, it was so nice. I got my mom to come to church, and it was really, really nice. It was really cool to have like all my friends and my mom and dad at church together. It was the first year where we were all at church together.
That's beautiful.
I had a moment where I was just looking at them and I said, "Thank you, Jesus."
Look what you did.
know?
That's incredible, though. You really rallied everyone.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I would not have been able to get my mom to church, so it was a really beautiful morning.
Let's go, Birdie.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, sex. I'm just kidding. Sexual immorality. We're going to be reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 6.
You know, I'm noticing a few things about, I don't know. Maybe it's shallowness, but I think it's not necessarily shallowness on my. What I'm noticing is that the current speaker, I didn't catch her name. She's not actually blonde. Like, you can see the dark roots. Her eyebrows don't actually look like that. They're sculpted, if not drawn on. Like, it just, I mean, I'm all for body customization. Look how you want to look, do what makes you happy. But like, to run around and be like, I have this life of purity and honesty and shit, when everything about her is a deception. It just, and there's biblical passages about that. Like, you know, women, Paul talking about how women shouldn't be adorned in fancy makeups and shit, but should just wear their good deeds. We talked about that before. It just,
I mean, this is like a whole conversation I had with my mother not too long ago. It was about me and makeup, and I've said before, like, she's the kind of person who will not go to the mailbox if she doesn't have her makeup, but I'll go straight to the store after I wake up, and I'll throw on some jean shorts and a shirt and go to the store. I just don't care. And it's one of those things that it's like, when, as much as they hound people on all these other quote unquote like biblical sins that they have, vanity is the one thing that they almost never touch on, because almost every single one of them is insanely guilty of that. Like, out of all the deadly sins, vanity is definitely one that they're almost all guilty of.
And they, I mean, they'll justify it till the cows come home. But what you're saying, Lil, is that you don't wake up, grab a brush, and put a little makeup. Why'd you leave?
No, I'm saying do whatever you're comfortable in. Be comfortable in your skin. Like, I'm fine without makeup. I got over the fact of trying to impress somebody years ago. I'm not looking for a partner right now. I'm totally fine being single, and I'm not looking to impress anybody. So no, I'm not going to sit there and doll myself up to run to the store when I'm comfortable in my own skin. So that's one thing. And two, like, I'm here for me. I'm not here for anybody else.
That's right. Let them go create another Fable. They wanted to. Hide the scars to fade away the shakeup. They wanted to. Ryan sees what I'm doing. Don't mind me. I'm
At verse 12, avoiding sexual sin. You say, I am allowed to do anything, but not everything is good for you. And even though I'm allowed to do anything, I must not become a slave to anything. You say food was made for the stomach.
Except there's a whole thing from Paul about how everyone has to be a slave to God, but I digress.
and the stomach for food.
Yeah.
This is true, though someday God will do away with both of them. But you can't say that our bodies were made for sexual immorality. They were made for the Lord, and the Lord cares about our bodies. And God...
What did it say in Genesis? Be fruitful and multiply. Like, it's one of God's very first commands after he's done lying to humans a couple of times.
God will raise us from the dead by his power, just as he raised our Lord from the dead.
Don't you realize that your bodies are actually parts of Christ? Should a man take his body, which is part of Christ, and join it to a prostitute? Never. And don't you...
Isn't the prostitute also part of Christ? And also, didn't Christ kind of hang out with prostitutes? They were some of his favorite people, according to the magic book. I don't know.
Realize that if a man joins...
Every time I hear that, like, you're part of the body of Christ, or the verse about Jesus taking the bread and breaking it and saying, "This is my body," there's a old, somebody probably knows, but there's a old internet joke about a guy who is a preacher but doesn't do very well. Like, he's so nervous that the old preacher says, okay, instead of a water in your glass, you put a little bit of vodka instead and just sip it whenever you get nervous. It'll calm you down. You can do the thing. Anyway, he ended up chucking the glass of vodka. Part of the notes that the pastor left him afterwards, the head pastor said, Jesus did not say, eat me. It's a really old internet email that I got a long time ago, and it still cracks me up. And I think about that every time I see that line when they're like, the body of Christ. I still think some preacher standing there saying, and Jesus said, eat me.
Eat my shorts, pilgrim. Yeah, I've seen that one. It's the first after the sermon note.
It cracks me up.
Sip, don't gulp. Yeah.
Yeah, don't gulp. And then it's just like the list of stuff is hilarious. It cracks me up every time I see it. My mom sends it to me probably once a year just for kicks and giggles because she knows I love it.
Himself to a prostitute, he becomes one body with her. For the scripture says, the two are united into one, but the person who is joined to the Lord is one spirit with him. Run from sexual sin. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does.
I thought the body didn't matter because, godly spirit body. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not important.
Sexual immorality is a sin against your own body. Don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. So you must honor God with your body.
There's that whole, you shouldn't be a slave, but also you're the property of God. You are a slave. You are owned because someone paid for you. Fucking hell.
Man, that's good.
So the whole book of Corinthians, so Paul is writing to the church of Corinth because at this time, basically the church of Corinth they were absolutely buck wild, full of sexual immorality, worshiping idols, but not just like having sex outside of marriage. They were doing like very perverted, gross, weird things. They had completely lost it. And so
where does she get that idea from? I mean, they were Christians, right?
Yeah. And here's my complaint about the wider, gross, perverted things. If they're consenting adults, why the fuck do you care? The only time you care is if they didn't consent or they're not adults.
Why does Paul have to write a
Other
letter?
than that, why is it any...
If Paul believes this, then and incidentally, we do have ghost versions of this here in the afterlife, and we it's like stand-up comedy. We read passages and laugh at them because it's the funniest fucking thing. There's so many people who believe. Anyway, if Paul believes that book, then if there is immorality, if there is, idol worship and this and that, then God will show up and do something about it himself. Like, Paul's just saying you should do what I tell you to do because I told you to do it.
Exactly. I do have a question though. If you're in the afterlife, does this make you the angel or the devil on my shoulder?
Neither. We don't actually do that. You could think of me as a fairy princess if you like. Although I may need a different wardrobe.
I can do that.
I'm a little
Well, you have the
agricultural
tiara
today.
already, so.
So all of this is talking to them and obviously encouraging them to turn and repent from the things that they're doing. And he's making it so clear that sexual sin is literally the worst sin that you can do against yourself. It's the only sin that is against your own body, and it is so harmful to you. And in the culture we live,
This is so freaking weird. Like, so many Christians are like, what does sin mean? And they go, it's a crime against God. But now we're talking about a crime against your own body. But also you're doing what God said to do. But also your body is the body of Christ. So you are sinning against God. But also the prostitute's body is part of the body of Christ. And so you're masturbating. There's no fucking consistency to it. It conflicts with itself at every fucking step.
Yeah, there's no consistency to it. It's ridiculous.
Hence the ridicule.
then people have no idea. Ari and I once didn't have an idea like we have now. So I think the one thing that we should do is we should just get into it and just share our hearts. And, you know, we've come this far telling everything. Here we go.
Equus makes an excellent point. How is having an orgasm harmful? I mean, okay, if you do make one flash with another person and you don't have an orgasm, that can be harmful under certain circumstances, or just depressing, which in and of itself can be harmful. But if you do have an orgasm, study after study after study has shown that the endorphin release is good for you. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your physiology. The cardio that you get during the act leading up to the orgasm is extremely healthy. You burn more calories doing that than practically anything else. It can even cure fucking headaches. Like, it's basically medicine. It's time for your injection.
I don't know if you heard that, but Dr. Kip just sneezed so loud.
Oh, I thought that was you.
Are you okay? No, it was Dr. Kip. She's sitting right here.
Co-host.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Can you please go first? No, it's you today. You want me to go first? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. No, I really? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
They still haven't actually, they've read a little bit of scripture, but they still haven't actually said what they think and why. And that's wild to me. Now, granted, I keep interrupting them, so it's not entirely their fault.
I'm not sure they know what to think.
It's so frustrating. So we've been going for about an hour now, so I figure it's a good time to get the poll so I don't forget the damn thing. And so we asked today, when should a woman submit? And because I only have 4 options, I went with when Bible says 5%, when pastor says got 0%, when a man says also got 5%. And once again, we're breaking the model and have a clear super majority, 91%. Yes, you're doing the math correctly. That comes out to 101%. That's how certain people are. A woman should submit. No, she should dominate always. 91%. Fuck yeah. We have the best community on the YouTubes. It's evidenced. It's demonstrated.
Okay. Well, okay. No, I'm just trying to think of, okay, so
we are working way too hard. Like, I put effort into planning out every single show. Like I mentioned earlier, I plan where I want to go and what the possible tangents might be and what the goal is. And I try to produce a good show. Like, I try to minimize dead air, because, you know, if you're quiet for more than a full second, half your audience tunes out. Not really that much. People are actually more patient than we often think. But that's a thing that's drilled into you in media training, is don't let there be dead air. Like, even if you have to and that's why so many people on news desks are like because they're trained to like not let there be silence, even if they're just having glossolalia or something.
Yeah.
But it just hurts my head to know that we all put in,
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
not just me, everyone in this community who creates content puts in so much fucking effort. And here's these people that are just like, well, I don't really know what I want to say on this thing that we planned to do today, so I'll just be quiet for a full minute while I think about it. Fucking hell.
yeah,
We're
like
trying way too hard, folks.
I worked for weeks on double checking, making sure I have my facts straight and all that stuff on my first episode, and I'm still sitting there constantly tripping over my words. I couldn't keep doing takes because my head was killing me, but I kept tripping over my words and it still didn't come out like I wanted to. So I'm just like, and it's one of those things I finally kind of figured, like, if I don't put it out, I'm never going to. So I did. But it's one of those things that, like, I guarantee you I did more planning for that than they did for this. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh my god, they didn't even talk about who goes first.
It's just I just
Yeah. There are no words.
I can't do that again because otherwise I'll, we'll get demonetized. People will think I'm like having the Holy Spirit right now or something.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay, this is really vulnerable.
It's really hard.
No, I'll go first. Okay, so
Nothing is funny. I want you guys to understand, if you see us laughing throughout this thing, it's because we're uncomfortable. I did not know I was actually going to feel this uncomfortable, because in my normal life, I have
zero introspection. Oh, sorry. She was going to say something else there. It's just, I keep expecting people who present themselves this way I keep expecting honesty. Like, I don't know. I'm just silly.
shame. I'm very open about where I've been and where I'm compared to where I'm at, because all it does is bring more glory to Jesus.
So, me and you have.
Does it bring glory to Jesus? Does having a podcast, putting yourself on a pedestal and saying, look at me, I'm a good Christian girl, does that bring glory to Jesus?
No.
Does it?
Because the thing is, you're not a podcast like that, and there's so many of them. You are not going to get anybody who doesn't already think like you do, or people who are so opposed and are just watching it to get episodes for stuff like this. But yeah, I would be shocked if they actually converted anybody.
I don't think that's the point, but what?
No, it's not. But I would be shocked if that was like an actual genuine reason.
Yeah, I bet if we
Other than this, I'm Christian. This is what I'm supposed to say.
I bet if we went through the entire thing, we'd have at least 2 ad breaks where it's like, buy our DVDs, or buy our books about how to be a godly woman or something. We know all about marriage, even though we've never dated anyone. Like Bethany and what's her name? Even when they were like still teenagers, they were like, we know all about marriage. Married women should look to us for guidance. Fucking hell.
We've been on this journey together, and it's been truly the most beautiful journey ever, getting to grow together and, living in purity together. It's just been watching you, and I'm sure you watching me on this.
It's great.
No, it's just.
That was an awfully sensual look. I've just been watching you, and I know you have been watching me. Wink, wink.
It's been honestly,
like
it's
I
been
said
hard,
earlier, I'm surprised they don't tackle each other over the table or something.
That's why they have the big.
The way they're looking at each other is a little. Yeah, the way they're looking at each other is a little suspicious, though.
That is one way that a lot of people stay pure, is by taking the edge off with someone of the same gender, so that you're not actually violating a rule as they
Mhm.
have made up the rules to be. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But also gay people are evil somehow for some
Mhm.
reason.
So beautiful. Why don't you start by telling us, because I honestly don't know if I know the whole story. What was the pivotal point for you?
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's we should make it clear that Ari and I once were living a life where purity was not in our lives by any means. And I'm just going to be completely honest in saying, so while Ari and I, you guys know this, we grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school my whole life. All the things, my family, my mom is a spirit-filled Catholic who loves Jesus with her whole heart. The biblical principle of abstaining from sex before marriage was so not even in my hemisphere of anything. I think it's really important for people, because Ari and I have been spending a lot of time in like the Bible Belt recently, and we have so many incredible friends from the Christian community.
As a person
How the
whose
hell did she
brain
say that and
frequently,
say she grew up Catholic?
you can grow up Catholic. That's not the issue that I have.
No, I mean grow up Catholic, but like say that that needing to get married before you have sex was just not a thing. Like it's not saying that she ever thought about it. And it's just like holy crap, dude.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of variation among Catholicism groups and areas and things. In some
Yeah,
places,
but
it's just mentioned like it's a foregone conclusion, but they don't really harp about it. And people tend to look the other way
yeah,
when
I
you
mean,
don't
but
care
what she
about
was
it.
saying about her mom. Yeah, I mean, what she was saying about her mom leads me to believe that they might have been one of the more strict, like, denomination is not the word, but one of the stricter churches of that. Because even when I was Catholic, I was going to a fairly liberal church, and that was still mentioned more often than it should have been.
I mean, in
So,
my experience, while there is a group within the Catholics who gets like really, really fundamentalist about that sort of thing, it's mostly the fundamentalists who get fundamentalist about that sort of thing. It's the fundies, it's the extreme charismatics and evangelicals and Pentecostals and so forth, because controlling women is one of their top priorities. With the Catholics, they insist men are superior, but it's kind of a low-key men are superior
yeah,
thing,
I
you
mean,
know?
it might just be different because, like I said, I'm in Texas, so I'm smack dab in the middle of the Bible Belt, and the Catholics are not all that far removed from the fundamentalists and their viewpoints on stuff from here. So it very well might just be a regional thing too.
Yeah. I mean, there's crazy people in every group. But no,
Mhm.
the reason I stopped her is because while I tend to go off on sidetracks, often people come here for the tangents. It's literally on the t-shirt in the store. The fact that she keeps interrupting herself, and she's talked for almost a full minute and hasn't completed a single sentence. She'll get 20, 25 words into a sentence and then interrupt herself with a different sentence. And it's starting to get frustrating.
Yeah.
So many friends who save themselves for marriage, who are virgins before their whole life until they got married. And that is the most beautiful, honorable, like it truly like brings me to my knees how beautiful that is and how faithful they are to God in that. And at the same time, that is honestly a small part of the world that is like that and thinks like that. Most of the world, purity is weird. Abstaining from sex is weird. I love Jesus my whole life. I thought people who save themselves for marriage were weird.
Oh, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that is for most of humanity.
Yeah,
That's
I think it really is a regional thing.
now to
Yeah,
be fair,
because
if a person wants to abstain, that should be their choice, but it should be their
yeah.
choice, not because their bubble of culture insists it's a thing they must do. Anytime your culture, your cult, your community, whatever,
Mhm.
tells you what you must do, you're being controlled. That in and of itself is not cool.
Mhm.
That in and of itself is a sin against ye old holy hamburglar, because the entire point is free will. or so we're told by the apologists. So anybody who's trying to abrogate your free will is going against the will of the same God that they're advocating for. Sinners. Those damnable sinners.
Yeah.
I know.
A year and a half ago, I actually met a couple and I said to myself, what is wrong with them?
I know.
They're saving themselves. What's the whole point of a relationship then?
I know.
I was so foreign to me. I literally thought it was bizarre.
Yeah. So I think I love that you say that. I think it's important for people to know that when you don't know something, there is no shame in it, because most of us don't know. When you're not in the super Christian culture, that's not going to be something that's in your in your world. And it wasn't for us. It wasn't for me at all. And
They're the super Christian. They're the most Christian-y Christians. That's why they're dressed all in white with the blonde hair and the lighting. So they're like low-key angelic kind of thing. Whoa! They need the angelic chorus in the background. We are the holy ones. Send us your money.
in fact, like I just, sorry, it's okay. I'm trying to figure out what. So
Yeah, and I just want to say something too. When you don't have God in your life, it's like you almost have a hardened heart. I didn't. I was so closed off. I had no idea. Anyway, so what like, can I ask you, what was like the moment where you were like, I can't do this anymore? And so did you basically never felt conviction when because you've had.
How the fuck do people... How do they even hold a conversation? Because she's doing the same thing. She can't finish a fucking sentence. She interrupts herself with something else. And it just... Let's put the two of them together on a show. I'm sure it'll do super well. Apparently it did. I guess maybe there's a market for bubbleheads who are incapable of finishing a thought. Holy...
Maybe. Oh my god.
Jeebus, give me the strength to survive your followers without having a fucking stroke.
Yeah. This isn't live. This is obviously like, oh my god. Like, you couldn't cut out like all the back and forth, like, ugh.
Your poor editor. Like, I'm sorry,
No
girls. This is
kidding.
the best I could get out of the shit pile you gave me.
Jesus your whole life, but you really started getting close to God, it was about 4 years ago, where you really were starting to submit yourself, right?
yeah.
And so did you feel conviction during that time, like around 4 years ago?
That's such a good question. So this is what I felt. Because even after I started reading the Bible, I'm sure that I felt conviction because, my whole thing, and I know that you're in the same boat, was like, if you're in a relationship, it's fine. If you're not in a relationship, it's not good. So it's just so funny to have come.
So to be clear, you have to be in a relationship that's leading towards marriage, but no fooling around. Just so we're completely transparent about that.
Into this whole world and have like my whole life flipped upside down, because I had gone my whole life being like relatively a good girl. Like that's what I was always known as, and like being quite innocent to the world. And so whenever I remember when I would be in a relationship, no, I wouldn't feel conviction, but I also didn't have any community around me to show me that that was wrong. I couldn't have conviction for something that I did not feel was wrong. And I read the Bible and I believed the Bible and I loved the word. But this was the one area that I thought 1,000% I would never submit to God.
Right.
Because it did not seem.
I'm super Christian, but I will never submit to God. Like, what the fuck?
No kid. I mean, like, obviously, I have no idea where they grew up, but if they grew up anywhere in the South, anywhere near where I grew up, like, that's pretty standard for most Christians here, or at least they espouse to believe that. So, I don't know. I don't know whether she's being disingenuous with that or not.
I shudder to think, but it does occur to me I've been a little silly. I can't. when I make a joke and then raise my eyebrows to hold the beat, it doesn't work if you can't see my eyebrows. Like I have to like turn, when I'm like this. No, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Visual jokes don't work
Yeah,
when
it's a
you're
little bit
invisible,
hard.
Ember.
Possible. It did not seem plausible, and I simply just didn't want to because I thought it was weird. I thought it didn't make sense. So going off your question, it's not that I felt conviction when I was partaking in these things, but what I did feel was I knew the spiritual repercussions of having sex before marriage because I felt them in my spiritual life. So there was a lack of fear of.
If you feel them in your spiritual self, then what do you need the Bible for? Like if it's written on your heart,
Yeah.
why do you need the Bible to tell it to you? All these sorts of things. It's very peculiar.
The Lord that I had,
Yeah.
so that was the reason why I wouldn't submit that area. However, I did know that, like, for example, if I would be in a relationship and me and that person would break up, there would be a part of me that would be so relieved because I would be like, okay, cool, I can be celibate now. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's interesting.
So I knew it was bad for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it was hurting Jesus.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew it separated.
And can you hurt Jesus? I mean, he did the whole resurrection, holy body thing, but also like hurting Jesus is the point of Christianity. It's the reason there is Christianity. Do you suppose the torturing of Jesus in the Gospels is actually a metaphor for the way believers who disregard the things that he never said but are spoken in his name kind of indirectly, when we disregard the things that Paul said Jesus wanted, even though Jesus said something different, does that hurt Jesus? And is that hurting represented by the story of the torture and things? And so really, from a spiritual perspective, Jesus is still hanging on the cross. He's still being tortured. And the rapture will happen when he finally like dies and then comes back, because remember, the second coming already happened. He died and then he came back according to Christianity. So I'm not sure what we're all waiting for.
No idea.
Me from God. I knew these things.
Yeah.
But again, I was living in the world so much. Like I was in the world fully, completely. I didn't have one Christian friend, and I'm reading the Bible and I'm seeing what he's saying. But again, like we'll get into it the moment that it happened, but it wasn't until we got some Christian friends that confronted us with the lifestyle we were living that we were like, this is crazy. But the moment that so it had been a couple of years that I was like, oh, I know something's not right. I know this doesn't.
It.
Oh yeah. And then I did start to have conviction, and but not conviction like, oh, I feel ashamed. I would be like, I'm anxious. I know that I've opened a door. I know that I've let, demonic oppression in through this area.
Demonic oppression. Holy fuck balls. Like I'm not ashamed of the fact that I wanted to, hurt Jesus. It's that if I do it, it lets in the demonic oppression, which comes out of fucking nowhere. It wasn't mentioned in the Bible verse they mentioned that they read through. It hasn't come up. Even the freaking crazy lady who had the orgasm on stage that they showed a clip of earlier and somehow still have a channel, even she didn't mention anything about demons. What the fuck is going on? Where am I a demon? Are you a demon? I bet we're demons. Are we demons? We're probably demons.
Well, they probably think I am automatically, but
oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, people like this tend to annoy me because they tend to be, even if you could sit down and have a conversation with them, straight up it would not be productive at all, because they're so wrapped around their way of thinking that if you're like, no, this isn't a devil thing, it's a natural physical urge thing.
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like,
I can say that after my marriage ended, and I've mentioned before, it was an abusive relationship. It was very, very hard. It was very depressing. A lot of shame and blame and all that assorted crap. So afterwards, I spent some time being as promiscuous as possible, as kind of a taking my power back sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really get a demonic oppression sense. I just started, I don't know, sex started to feel hollow, giving me what I wanted, which was that feeling of being appreciated and having a deep emotional connection with someone who cared.
Yeah.
And I just didn't realize it until I explored that a little more, you know? But to confuse that
and
with
I mean, I don't think that's
demons.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily like uncommon for people who do kind of tend to go off and get really promiscuous. Blah. Like I kind of more or less did the same thing, but yeah, like it just, but they're equating the I need to be appreciated, I need to have better relationships or whatever. They're equating that with the devil's doing this, and that's not a way to solve anything. I mean, it leads to so much bad.
Self-oppression, really hurting yourself. Theo asks, "Oh, bots, we don't even have a hate watcher or troll. Where is everybody?" It's Rapture Day, Theo. It's Rapture Day. I mean, did you not notice the fact that I'm, you know, I've been raptured? I'm just broadcasting anyway, because God himself cannot stop me from doing. Okay, a lightning strike would do it. A power outage would do it. But the holy hubble, I'll be on my phone. I'll be on whatever I have to do. God can't stop me. God himself could not sink this ship. Famous words that totally came true, by the way. Not to get all hubris and shit. It is Rapture Day. So that's why.
Talking about stopping one of us, God might be trying to stop me because my connection keeps freaking out a bit. So just FYI, if I suddenly drop, it's my connection because it's being stupid today.
It happens.
Yeah, that's what you get when you live in the middle of nowhere. So we don't have the most reliable internet out here sometimes.
Well, the good news is that the connection is pretty strong in the afterlife for some reason. There must be like a medium chance. I bet it's all the people praying. I bet it's all the people praying that the rapture
That's
comes
what it is.
and they get taken. It's creating a strong connection between the worlds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yes, that is it.
Or of having sex before marriage. And then so Ari and I met basically, and you know, we go on this journey together, and of course we're still the only Christian friends that we have, and it's like everything in our lives started to change except this one area. And then how did we get there? And then, okay, so we start the podcast, right? And this is, we get into ministry, and this is still an area of our lives that we did not ever think we would ever stop this situation. You know what I mean?
And I still wasn't fully convicted when I first started.
I know, me neither.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I was, but again, I really think it was the lack of the fear of God that I was just like, yes, I know what he says, but he loves me so much that it's okay. And I racked my brain all day trying to figure out how I was so close to Jesus. And I was
the double think. They're so close to talking about it. They're like, Jesus loves me no matter what, but also Jesus will never forgive me. Like you're so close.
Mm-hmm.
Still able to do these things.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think you should take it over.
Yeah, so I really didn't. I think I looked at God as like he was a God of grace and he was a God of love.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he was like a father who.
Mark's off to bed. Thank you for stopping by, Mark. Always lovely to see you. We dig Mark around here.
Bye, Mark.
Mark says, "Gotta go to bed. Take care, everyone. Please have your own personality, unlike these two purity automatons." I mean, far be it from me to judge whatever makes a person happy, but I do tend to prefer people who, you know, have their own thoughts and things and are able to think is nice as well. Yes.
Is a God that we have to fear. And I so I was like really submitted, and I just started to read and learn, and it wasn't even that I was like reading about sexual sin a lot. It was something that I felt like how do I put this? This is so vulnerable. Holy moly.
I know.
Okay. It's okay. Jesus, let me just pray real quick. This is the most nervous.
It's so vulnerable. It's so real. It's so brave. And okay, I shouldn't belittle somebody for feeling. It's normal to feel vulnerable when you're talking about something that you haven't shared, especially in a public forum, and you're not sure if you're in the mental place to share. It'll feel a little uncomfortable. You'll feel vulnerable. But first world problems, like in a world with multiple genocides, multiple wars, a fascist taking over the most powerful military in the world and using it to invade his own cities, and a litany of other shit, to be like, well, I mean, I feel a little uncomfortable talking about how I've never had sex, even though the point of the show is, look at us, we've never had sex, Oh, for fuck's sake.
I've ever been.
Don't be nervous.
I know.
It's just childish. It's I mean, I get it. It's a mark of innocence because the whole point is we're so innocent, but it's like your first breakup, right? Like you hurt a lot, but you do a lot of maturing as a result of it. People who've never gone through their first serious breakup don't ever fully become adults until they do, because you need that experience to have that maturity process happen to become a full adult. And it's like saying, hey, I'm in my 20s, but I'm still a child emotionally, if not intellectually. But why not both? Rejecting growth, just, I don't know. It's repellent to me. It's saying I could have grown, but I refuse to grow. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of a tangent, but that's what we're here for. It almost reminds me that attitude is exactly what leads people to be like creationists, completely ignore the science, because it's just like they're like, whatever makes me feel good about this, I'm just not going to look at anything else. I'm never going to grow and learn and better themselves by learning, to the point that if you pay attention in high school, young earth creationism is not a thing. Like, a high school freshman can argue against it. But it leads to that. Like, all of these separate issues, from not growing as a person to doing the whole creationist and trying to get that into schools and all this other stuff, it's all kind of intertwined, which is just like, it seriously worries me that people get this far into religion and just stay there and never grow as a person, because a religion basically tells them not to. Like, you must stay exactly this way and you must do only what I say. Especially with women.
I've got a curveball for you. I've noticed in studying psychology, in studying humans generally, I've noticed that sometimes the refusal to grow is a trauma defense. Like, people will reach a certain point and then something so traumatic will happen they cannot process it. And so they cannot progress until they've processed it. So it's a defense mechanism for this thing so horrible they can't process it. They take one step back emotionally, mentally, in terms of maturity, and they stay there forever. And you can see it. It's not true of like every person who's been through a significant trauma. A number of people do process and get through it. But often if you meet somebody who acts like a 15-year-old in their 40s, you find out something really, really bad happened right before their 16th birthday. Curiously enough. Or someone who acts like a 12-year-old. Something really, really bad happened when they turn 13. Things like
Yeah.
this. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people who are
I
frozen in
I
their
can
youth
completely see
because they
that.
never were able to progress past certain
Mm.
traumas.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. And one of the problems that I have with Christianity, especially like the charismatic fundamentalist stuff, at least the churches that I know of, they wouldn't even allow you to attempt to process it because they'd always throw it back with whatever it was your fault, you deserved it, God was punishing you, X, Y, and Z. So they don't even give them the opportunity to try and process it from the get-go.
It's all part of the plan. It's not a bad thing. I know. Sir Little Wolf says that happened to me like 4 times. And yes, exceedingly bad things do happen to people multiple times. In a way, I understand that it's a little bit of my jadedness showing because I've been through so many fucking things that when a person talks about like, oh, I'm uncomfortable talking about relationships, I'm a little bit mean because from my point of view, it's such a ridiculously tiny thing. And I realize that's me being jaded, that I should be more generous, that I should be more understanding and more empathetic. And remember, from their point of view, it is the biggest hurdle they've ever had to deal with in their life. It's just, it's like when you've been doing differential equations all fucking day, and then someone who claims to be an adult is having trouble figuring out fractions. You know, it's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's a little judgmental. I admit, I am not a perfect being. I try to care and be compassionate and see things from other people's point of view, but I am not perfect. And again, it's my own jadedness coming through on that one. I can try to do better, but for today, living in the world we live in, where people like these are, whether intentionally or just by abstaining from taking a stand, enabling or cheering on even more traumatic things to happen to people like me, I'm just having a really hard time with empathy on that one.
It's really
no, I'm
but
the same way with that. I just I mean it's so easy to sit back and be judgy, but I'm completely with you on that one.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, but I mean, I try to acknowledge my flaws when they do come up, and I don't know.
That's the
a
important
weird thing.
thing.
I've got a little Maya in my head that's screaming at me the fact that the world is the way it is, that has caused so many traumas, let's say, that continues to spit out trauma seemingly on a daily basis. That's not your fault, Ember. and little Maya in my head is correct, but it's still my choice how I react, and I could be more compassionate.
Oh, hey, Kelly in the chat. We have 22 people watching.
Yeah, hello, Kelly. Kelly's on remote assignment today. Doing the real life thing. But she will be back. I think she said Friday for sure, and who knows, it might be a surprise. Like always, the entire cast of Java and Jugs may or may not drop in at any given moment, sometimes partway through a show. You never know. It keeps things interesting. We do reverse raptures here. People just show up.
Speaking of that, if you've still got me, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump off before my connection completely crashes. It's getting really choppy on my end.
All right.
So I'm only catching like every other word. So it's really hard for this to be working right now.
Alrighty. So Lil's getting raptured.
Yes, I am getting. Hey, yes, I am being raptured. That's the thing. Check out my new channel, Lil of All Trades. Just dropped my first episode yesterday. Had to do a plug. But all right, well, thank you. Bye, guys.
Toodles. And as a reminder, the entire cast of Java and Jugs and Hot Topic, because it's the same cast, is in the creators page on my website, betterthanember.com. Everybody's links have their own little section. Maybe I'll show y'all later. But for now, I'm hoping these two get to a point at some point. We'll see. What could possibly go wrong?
No, you can be.
No.
Oh.
So I think what happened was I was watching what he did. I was seeing the rapid miracles and changes he was doing in my life, and how he had changed my life so quickly because I was being obedient, and because I was so I was so submitted to him, and because I was constantly running to him, and I had this beautiful relationship with him. And I'm watching what he's doing in my life, but and I'm doing the right thing, but then I'm going and doing, I was like almost picking and choosing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
That is what they do. That is what you're doing that now, bestie. You're doing that now. You're picking and choosing what you want to believe, what you want to practice. That's the whole thing. Like all of modern Christianity, even if you're Catholic, like the Catholics base a lot of their catechisms and shit loosely on this idea of apostolic succession, but that's not biblical. And you can make the argument, and the Catholics do, that the Bible is not, in fact, the final authority on the will of God. It's just one tool for understanding what the hell God wants. And that's kind of valid, because for the first 3 or 4 centuries, the Christians didn't have the Bible. They just had human leaders, but not a single authority above everyone. Strangely enough.
And so I'm not even kidding you. He started planting the seed in me, because in my head I thought, well, I'm in a relationship.
I thought planting the seed was a sin. Isn't that what we're talking about today?
And it's okay. I'm not sleeping around. I've never done that. I've always been in relationships. But I was getting signs, like I felt it in my gut. And then I'll never forget, we went to we were in church one day, and it was Pastor Torre, and he said, he was talking about laying down the sexual sin. That's when
I'll never forget that
That's
sermon.
when it started.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. And then he just talked about, and then one day I just knew, and I had to lay it down, and I couldn't lay it down on my own. So I ran to him. I said, God, I need your help.
And if you want to lay it down, head on over to adamandeve.com and enter code word Brentley at checkout for 50% off. Oh shit, I'm knocking things down. 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. That's adamandeve.com. Not sponsored. I just stole the ad shamelessly from Brentley, because I am in fact a pirate of vast e-lubbers. I have just ruined everything. It's fine. Such predicaments we must forge ahead.
And that's sort of the way I was. Like, I knew I couldn't do it on my own, because I don't know. it was something that's been a part of my life and my relationship, and intimacy with my partner was a way that I found love.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely
Wait. So she isn't a purity culture person. She was a non-purity person for a period. How peculiar. But you can do whatever you need to do in your life, and just sin as much as you want and tell Jesus you're sorry, and suddenly it's all better, I guess. Weird. I don't know. It's just funny to me, because it seems like these people who preach purity are always, I was promiscuous in my youth, but you must not be. You're not allowed.
vulnerable and honest. So I didn't know that you could just connect to your partner without that. And so I think what really made me
That's a you problem, bestie. If you can't connect to your partner in any other way, you may be emotionally stunted, perhaps. Maybe it's that whole church thing holding you back from actually forming meaningful emotional and intellectual connections or something. I don't know.
say I have to lay this down is fear. Fear of him, because I heard him so loudly be like, you follow me or you don't follow me at all. And so I just, and the thing is like,
I just want to point out, Theo is definitely going to hell at this point. That one will get you sent directly to hell. I'm not reading it. Nope.
he is so, he gives us so much grace, and he gave me so much grace, but I couldn't sit on here and talk and have one foot in and one foot out anymore. I was sick. Like, I started to feel really sick about it. And so I just knew it was like one day I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have young people that are looking up to me and that are following me and that want to be like me and that are listening to me and actually respect me. I have to live a holy, respectable life. And there were moments where I thought to myself, how am I ever going to be able to do this? Just lay all this down. But
and if you want to lay all this down, oh, now we're starting to get somewhere, aren't we? Oh, goodness.
Because I feared him so much, and there's a difference between fearing the Lord and being scared of the Lord. Fearing the Lord means you run to him because you can't do it by your own power. So you run to him and say, Jesus, I can't do this on my own. I need you to fill me up with the Holy Spirit. I need you to take it out.
And if you want to fill it up with the Holy Spirit, oh, for fuck's sake, this is, oh my goodness, this is going to be a thing, isn't it?
Out of me, take the lust out of me, give me a clean, new, pure heart, and boy, will he. You think that it's impossible, and I'm telling you, the way I live, holy and clean, is so. It's just so. It's not hard. It's not as hard as you think it is, and so.
But if you want it to be hard. If you're having problems getting it hard, I don't know. Holy shit, we should have started 20 minutes in. I should have known the first 20 minutes was just going to be scripture and flibberty gibbetery, and all the good shit starts at 20 minutes. My goodness.
Yeah, that was the day I laid it down.
So beautiful. I mean, I have, watching you in this situation, I mean, Ari's obedience. So I do want to preface this by saying that, like, you know, Ari and I started the podcast, and then it was literally, truly, like, a couple episodes in. The massive transformation in our life literally happened in the span of, like, the first few episodes, where we simply could not live. I mean, it happened so quick. I think because my whole thing is about the fear of the Lord as well. That's where my life changed in this area too.
Jesus loves you so much, you should be afraid of him. You know, just like you should be afraid of everyone you love. You should be afraid of your parents. You should be afraid of your preacher. You should be afraid of your pets, I guess. Why are people like this?
Okay, so I was starting to feel that way, right? And then we meet these Christian friends. And so I'm feeling convicted as I was in my relationship and doing it. And then we meet these Christian friends, and we're sitting with them. And what did they say? They were like, you can't call yourself a true follower. You can't call yourself a true Christian if you're committing sin and you're having sex.
Why? Jesus hung out with fucking prostitutes. He thought they were just fine and dandy. Why is that an issue?
And you're not married. Yeah. And I will never forget that moment when she said that, and it was like a slap in my face. And I remember sitting there at dinner, and I couldn't even hear anything.
That sounds like a no true Christian fallacy kind of thing. But also, do you have any idea how hard it is to find something you've dropped when, like, everything is void and clouds and shit? Like, why is there gravity here? Why is there gravity in the afterlife? What the fuck?
My whole body went numb, and I was just sitting there being like, how could she? Mm-hmm. She's sitting there like, who is she to say that? And she didn't know that we were whatever, but
I wonder, can I float around the room like a ghostie? I bet I can. Let me see. Can I? Behold my supernatural powers. I'm leaning down from the heavens. Ooh, you know, if I position myself just right, I can, like, use that crown as like a shiny beard kind of thing. Oh, this is so hard. Okay. I think I've just about got it, maybe. Yeah? Yeah? Ooh. Oh, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Who knows? It's
She was just speaking. And you know what? That was the best thing that she could have said to me in that moment. And I'll never forget getting in the car. And that was, sometimes you have to be told, you have to be slapped in the face with the truth, even if it hurts, or even if it's harsh. Because that, in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. You can't call yourself a true follower of Christ when you're sitting there going to church. I love Jesus. I have this beautiful relationship with Jesus. And then you're going out and you're having sex and you're committing sin.
Yeah.
That's not a true follower of Christ.
1,000%.
And that was the moment.
if sin is hurting Jesus, and then people are running around saying, you can't do the thing because it hurts, like they're hurting you by saying the thing you're doing is wicked, even though there's nothing actually wrong with it other than it hurts Jesus. We say it hurts Jesus, but does Jesus say that? Because Jesus sure as shit didn't say that. Like, holy shit. Like, if you're with a partner and your partner, say, enjoys fishing, let's say, and you are a vegan, you're like animal rights, animal lives, all of that stuff. If you tell your partner you're not allowed to go fishing because that's like a sin against me, you're interfering with their life. You're hurting them for the sake. It just. I'm not going to get into it. We're near the end of the show.
Where I was like, that's it. And I never looked back. That's why it is so important to have godly people in your life and not be surrounding yourself with people of the world.
Amen.
Worldly people.
True.
People of the world, worldly people. Yes, you need constant reinforcement to remind you of the cult, or you will, stop doing cult things. This is fucking wild.
Yeah.
That moves right into because our stories in this are so interconnected, because as I was saying before, I was always able, kind of just the way that you were, I was able to pick and choose what part of the Bible I wanted to live by. And it was usually the parts that were good for me and benefited my life and were, didn't, cause me any like nuisance in any way. And
as all Christians do.
This topic just specifically on sex, because I was laying things down left and right and I was so obedient to God and I heard his voice so clearly, but this one area of sex before marriage and sexual sin, was my heart was so hardened to it. Like I would be listening to
Isn't it so wild that these people are like, I can hear the voice of God so clearly, but in this one area he never spoke to me. How could I get it so wrong? Why? Like, do you get it? Do you see that, like, it's your voice, it's your internal monologue? If God were really talking to you and God really cared about this, he'd fucking say so.
sermon, and I'm like a sponge when I'm hearing about Jesus. Like my heart is just wide open, and I swear if someone mentioned sex or abstaining from sex, immediately I would close up and I'd be like, I respected it. Like I loved it for other people. I was like, that's great for them, and I hope that they follow it because I care and because I know it's good for them. I knew, but I was like, but for me, absolutely not. And it's just so many, like truly the enemy will convince you of such the craziest things, telling me that this isn't possible for me, that I would never do. I'll get there, but like while yes, it was difficult in a lot of ways, it was also one of the easiest decisions I've ever made in my life. And I went so long thinking, having the enemy talk to me crazy, telling me that this would be just impossible for me. It was a lie. It was a lie completely. You think something is going to be hard, but and then you're like, whoa, why is this so easy?
And if you think something is going to be hard, head on over to unavailable.com and enter code WordBrunley checkout for 50% off almost anyone item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Again, not sponsored. Stole that ad because I really enjoy that ad. And we're getting some mileage with that today. I've let a whole bunch of possible uses go by because I don't want it to get too stale. But we are nearing the end of the show, and I wanted to get one more good one in there. And if you want to get one more good one in there, don't mind me.
So I'm in a relationship at the time, and, you know, Ari is coming to this realization, and I'm coming to it as well, but I am kind of masking it because I'm like, I'm literally running from God. He's pressing in and he's pressing in, and I'm just like, no. I'm feeling the same things that you are, but I'm almost like pretending like I'm not because I couldn't face it. And there was a moment where, like, so at this point you had kind of been like, I can't, like, this can't happen anymore. And I'm like, that's really great for you, Ari. I'm so happy for you. Well, I'm not there. And then, so I'm sitting here and you know.
Did you see that cut? That was a hard cut. They didn't even try to blend that. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, is their editor incompetent too? They're probably editing their own thing. Never mind. I retract the question. But like, when you try to hide a cut like that, here's a pro tip from a person who is obviously not a pro, but is still better at this than they are. Cut to the other person, even if it's just a fraction of a second, to make it look like you're getting like a face reaction to what they just said, and then cut back. And people won't see the fact you just cut out a section of dialogue. Just a quick and easy film tip, I guess. I don't know. Movie magic, something like that. Wowzers. So were they both promiscuous? It's not really clear because the completion of thoughts is not going very well. They're not telling their story in a very linear fashion. So I just don't know. I don't understand the nature of the situation, my darlings. But I don't know. Maybe we'll finish this video another day because we did start to get to some funny bits. Maybe I'll save it for a member stream. We've got another one coming up. I haven't actually scheduled it yet, but there'll be at least one in October. Members get, of course, access to the member stream, but also the top level members get a shout out in the closing credits for the show. And we had a bunch for August. I'm getting ready to record the member thank you for the top level members for September. So if you want to make sure you're in the credits for next month, make sure you're a member, and B, you're at the Cinder level, the top level membership. Because you get to be the credits, but also because it helps support what I'm doing here. So I can like return to Earth and afford rent and things. I very much appreciate any support I can get, but I have to say an extra special thank you to the top level supporters. Partly because I promised I would, but also because I very much appreciate that level of support. Before we go, I also want to say thank you to our supporters for this specific stream, which happens to be My Unfinished Song sent a $5 super chat saying, don't be a dominant woman, or do whatever. Either way, like and share the stream, which is good advice for anyone because it helps. Everything helps. Just being here helps. Just liking helps. Just commenting, being active in the chat, it all helps a little bit. And there's lots of buttons you can press for free, which do help. And I appreciate all of it. I appreciate you folks being here and spending time with me and going through the show. Even though I'm a ghost today, I'm gonna work on manifesting harder so I can like be physical tomorrow or possibly the day after. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I do appreciate y'all being here with me on Rapture Day. This show will take you over to apparently the Kentucky Atheist has rescheduled his Monday show. Maya will be on in an hour. So Joe will be starting in a few minutes. Maya will be on in an hour. Doing the 4chan to alt-right Charlie Kirk pipeline thing, all of that assorted stuff. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff coming up. I'll give you a quick rundown on the rest of the week. Let me pull up the channel because I want to do it correctly. And there's so much planned. First of all, while I'm doing that, good news this week. This week's episode of Good News on the transpositions here on YouTube. Good News happens at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights. Not only do I have good news, I have ninjas. There's a ninjas in this week's Good News. So make sure you tune in for that. As for here, hopefully you're subscribed so you can catch Hot Topic every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, plus the weekend shows. I do a bunch of stuff on the weekend. I do a bunch of stuff, period. Find all my links at betterthanember.com. But Hot Topic coming up here tomorrow. We have, where the hell is it? Pastor Vlad is going to tell us about dating in a godly way. Today we learned a little bit about purity, sort of, but tomorrow we're going to learn about dating, how to be in compliance with the laws of the Jesus in the dating scene. That should be a ton of fun. Thursday, Bill Nye with science, talking abortion rights, and a random apologist who's going to say nuh-uh because Bible. That should be fun. And Feminist Friday, biblical feminism. What could possibly go wrong there? I mean, how does feminism actually fit into the Bible? I don't know. We'll find out, hopefully. Or maybe people will just talk about random shit instead of getting to the point. Not that I'm one to talk there, but details. Saturday, I'll be over at Mark's channel for the debate review. That'll be Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's part 2 of the debate review that we're doing with Bumblebee, covering Potholer 54 versus a climate pseudoscience conspiracy guy. Tons of fun. Sunday, back here for Evening Ember. We're going to spooky places to kick off October, even though it's not quite October. We're doing it anyway because it'll be neat. It'll be so fun. I hope you join us for that. And then, of course, Monday, we're back at it with the hot topics in the morning. We've got PragerU, Forbidden Adult Fun Time Part 2, AI stuff on Wednesday, mental health on Thursday, and anti-woman women for Feminist Friday. So I hope you join for all of those things. They're sure to be an adventure, assuming we're all still on the mortal plane. Of course, of course. Oh, goodness. This is why I keep a website, right? Not just to have like links to all the science that I'm frequently referencing or links to all the creators. Those are bonuses. But the main reason, the original reason the website exists is because there's so fucking much. I can't even tell you about all the things going on, which is why all the links are on my website, betterthanember.com. All right. I think that covers just about all the bases for today. But while I was promoting stuff, I do notice that we got some memberships gifted. And let me see if I can actually see who those went to so I can like do the announcy thing and whatnot. Kalasia 789. Rochelle gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Those went to Sir Little Wolf, Disco Poppy, My Unfinished Sock, Hecklek. It's so hard to read on the screen. Gazela Mail, Marty Cameo, Austin Sims, Cosmic Kyle, Sabrina Page, and Evil Toe. All excellent names. Fabulous, fabulous. And Jester gifted 5 memberships. Those went to Hell's Bells, Sarah Quell, Judea, Billy Bungs a lot, and Michael Bell. So congratulations, folks. I hope you enjoy all the custom emojis. The gift level membership is the mid-tier, which means you get access to all the exclusive content, the members-only stuff, the member stream, early access to all actually recorded videos, which I know I need to do better about. I'm doing a lot. We're doing our best. It's fine. It's fine. But you do get all the emojis, which are voted on by the members. So I hope you enjoy. And consider, if you enjoy your membership, becoming a permanent member, because it really helps and I really need it. As always, thank you all so much for joining. I very much appreciate it. And we're going to go out with the credits, thanking the top level supporters. And as always, remember, you don't have to pick and choose the bullshit you believe in and harden your heart or whatever the fuck we're talking about, because you are better than religion. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks to the top-level members and Patreon supporters for August. Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkisson, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Kalasia, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, The Mighty Filbert, Hunter Biden's Laptops, Larkwright, Greg S., Neurogeezer, Mage Greywolf, Faran Salas, Poor Claire, BTF Wayne, Cosmic Kyle, Bomb Poppy, RDZ, Billy Bongsalot, Marty Cameo, My Unfinished Sock, Austin Sims, Tinker Phil, Anarchic Fox, Sabrina Page, Leslie Hutchings, Gazela Mail, Evil Toe, Right-Handed Sith, Luke, D. Murphy, Jesse, Uncle Charlie, Ryan Cultastic, Kurisu Yamato, Scott Duke, Michael Bell, Sumami, Citizen 9, S. Cook, James Nordoff, Hecklek, Velvet, KCA Randy, B.S. Lewis, Tori Swansiger, Whimsy, Kristen Slays, Godless Engineer, Fern Lovebond, Hillhugger, Karen Butcher, Milwaukee Atheists, Booba Sweat, Maya Adkisson, My Unfinished Studio, Ian Chen Official, Introvert Ancom, Tilting Windmill, Christopher Tablante, Robin Webster, Proby666, Jason T, Action Squad, Robert Madewell, Doc Don Hogg, Jester, Sydney Raptor, Stardust Lilith, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Jake, insert clever dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Supercritical Snake, Eli Slack, Geo Sam, Kalasia789, L Trucker, You Are Victoria, Polly Has His Cracker, Roman Weber, Leo Filius, Nikki Pare, Jasper, Yahooligan, and Pinworm. Thank you all so much. I feel energized and grateful that you're part of this community. Thank you.
Just like a spark that's breaking out.